It was a quiet Saturday evening in the village of Kunjla, a place known for its old traditions and legends. At the center of the village stood a large, eerie mansion known as Shanavawada. Its name alone struck fear into the hearts of the villagers, as it was said to be cursed, inhabited by the restless souls of the past. The mansion had been abandoned for decades, its walls crumbling and its once beautiful garden overrun with wild weeds. No one dared to go near it, not since the mysterious disappearance of the last family who lived there. Rumors spread that on every Saturday night, the mansion came alive with strange sounds, flickering lights and whispers carried by the wind. This Saturday, however, something felt different. A young man named Imran, new to the village, had heard all the stories. He was skeptical of the superstitions, but couldn't help feeling a shiver run down his spine as he passed by the mansion. As he reached the village square, he overheard a conversation between two elderly women. Imran, one of them, said, "You should be careful tonight. It's Saturday, and Shanavawada calls to those who dare to enter. Many have tried, but none return." "The same," Imran chuckled nervously. "It's just an old house with some stories. I'm sure there's nothing to it." The women exchanged a knowing look. "You don't know the half of it," the other woman said, her voice barely above a whisper. "There's a curse on that place, a curse that has claimed lives for generations. Every Saturday night, the spirits awaken, seeking revenge." Imran decided to ignore their warnings. He had grown up with tales of haunted houses and believed they were just fabrications. But deep down, a small part of him was curious. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie orange glow over the village, Imran made his way to Shanavawada. The air grew colder the closer he got, and the mansion loomed. Larger, its windows dark and lifeless, like eyes watching from the shadows. He pushed open the creaking gates, stepping onto the overgrown path that led to the entrance. The moment he crossed the threshold, a strange feeling washed over him. The air was thick with an unsettling energy, and the silence was suffocating. Inside, the mansion was even more desolate than it appeared from the outside. Dust hung in the air, and the floorboards creaked under his weight. As he walked through the grand hall, his flashlight illuminated the old portraits on the walls, pictures of a family long gone. Their eyes seemed to follow him, and he quickly turned away, his heart racing. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the broken windows, slamming a door shut behind him. Imran spun around, his breath caught in his throat. The mansion seemed to be alive, reacting to his presence. He shakily moved forward, drawn by a strange compulsion. Up the grand staircase he went, each step creaking louder than the last. At the top, a long corridor stretched out before him, lined with closed doors. Imran hesitated, but felt an overwhelming urge to open one of them. As he pushed open the first door, he found himself in a large bedroom, its furniture draped in sheets, giving the room an abandoned feel. But then, his flashlight caught something. A set of footprints on the dusty floor, as if someone had walked through the room recently. IMRAN, single quotes, us heart raced. He took a few steps back, but the door slammed shut behind him with a deafening bang. He spun around in panic, his breathing shallow dot in the corner of the room. The shadow of a figure began to form, a shape that moved closer with each passing second. Imran froze, unable to move, as the shadow seemed to come alive, its edges twisting and writhing like smoke. A voice echoed in the room, low and guttural. "You should not have come here." Imran's body trembled with fear, and he backed away, reaching for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The figure came closer, revealing its grotesque form, a man, or what had once been a man, with hollow eyes and a twisted smile. His body was gaunt, covered in tattered clothes, his skin pale and decayed. "Leave this place," the figure hissed, its voice sharp like nails scraping across a blackboard. "The curse of Shanavawada will claim you too." Imran could hardly breathe, his mind racing for a way out. The figure reached out, its skeletal hand almost touching his face when the door suddenly flung open. Imran bolted from the room, his heart pounding in his chest. He ran down the corridor, hearing footsteps behind him, closer and closer. The mansion seemed to close in on him, the walls bending as if alive, trying to trap him within its clutches. He stumbled down the stairs, falling several times, but each time he got back up, his mind focused solely on escape. Finally, he reached the front door, but it was locked. He pounded on it with all his strength, yelling for help. But the only response was the echo of his own voice. The sound of footsteps drew closer, louder now, and the cold air,